Well, here I am in the swamp. Mosquitoes here are pretty bad, but it looks like a good chance to paint a little green. I want to practice with my painting kit in gouache, and I like the skunk cabbage here. If I can survive the mosquitoes, I start out by doing an underpainting in my sketchbook using casein, which should be good because casein is a stable base layer underneath the gouache. And I just want to be give it an out of focus character because I don't know exactly what I'm going to paint yet. So I just paint some a general shape of yellow-green and dark around it, neutral around it, with a soft edge in between. And that's all I need as an underpainting color. We'll figure out what the subject will be in a minute. Well, here's a good plant. This shape should more or less fit the shape I have in mind. I can just draw this in using black wing pencil, which has a nice eraser that you can adjust. It's a classic graphite pencil. And I'll use this to draw the main stems of the skunk cabbage, which curves down to the base. Skunk cabbage emerges as early as February. This is May now. In February you get the flowers that break through the surface, and they can actually generate heat to break through the snow. But they're often pollinated by flies rather than bees. And that's why they're called skunk cabbage. They give off an odor that attracts flies. Now, the leaves are very large, obviously, and kind of heart-shaped. We're seeing some of them in perspective. Once I work out the main shapes, I can get out my paint. I'll be using watercolor and gouache, titanium white, cadmium yellow light, raw umber, quinacridone red, light blue, anthraquinone blue, and yellow ochre. I might also add viridian to that mix just to get a deeper blue-green. Painting the spaces between the leaves using the edge of a large 3/4 inch flat synthetic brush. And I can texture the leaves later, but I want to get the big shapes first. So by having that underpainting there in casein, I have a central area, a spotlight area of color that sort of gradates down to a darker value at the outer edges of what's now going to be the leaves. If you don't have casein, you can use acrylic gouache or tinted gesso, or you can even use gouache with a tiny bit of acrylic matte medium mixed into it. And that way the underpainting won't lift up on you if you get it wet again. But it's so thin anyway, even if I'd done this in the underpainting in gouache, it'd be okay, it wouldn't pick up really. Now I'm using a round synthetic brush to paint some of those veins in the leaf and suggest some of the texture. It's mostly cloudy now, but it does switch to a little bit of direct sun on the subject. But right now there's a cast shadow of that nearer leaf over the leaf in the lower left-hand corner. Having started with the bigger brush, I can use smaller brushes now to get little delicate details of these veins, some dry brush texture to suggest the texture of the leaves, By the way, I forgot my palette, so that's why I'm using the lid of my paint box. And my paint box is just a Tupperware or a sealed sandwich holder that you can get in a dollar store or any kind of cheap store. Those are great for storing paints because since they're sealed and fairly small, they can store 5 or 10 tubes and keep them from drying out. I'm using now a fountain pen with brown ink to put a few dark accents in the picture. I like using a variety of different tools, from big brushes to small, fine brushes, and then you get a variety of different strokes from big ones to little ones, just like you see in nature. Now, time to clean up. I'm going to use the hose outside to clean off Smooth because he was waddling through the mud pretty badly. Good boy, Smooth. If you follow these links, you can go to a playlist of gouache paintings. Another video of painting a foliage scene. My website, which has sign books, and you can subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next one.